It's not every day that someone can forecast when they'll be detained by police, but the former US President Donald Trump says that he thinks he'll be arrested this coming Tuesday, even though his lawyers have received no communication from prosecutors. This is all apparently part of the investigation into the payment of alleged hush money to the porn star Stormy Daniels. Mr. Trump has called on his supporters to protest. Well, for more, we can speak now to Thomas Gift. He's a political scientist and director of the Centre on US Politics, and he joins us now from London. Thank you for being with us here on France 24.
Thank you.
What do you make of the timing of Mr. Trump's social media statement, given that no formal notice has actually been given about any arrest so far?
Well, the first thing to say is that there are just a lot of details still that we don't know. Trump says that he's facing an arrest. That intel could certainly have been telegraphed to him in advance by law enforcement, but we don't have any official word yet from the district attorney in New York who's overseeing the case. There has been an ongoing investigation into Trump's conduct related to this allegation surrounding Stormy Daniels. This goes back years. That we do know. It could simply involve lying, for example, over business records, or it could involve something more serious like an infraction related to his campaign. It has to be said that there's always a chance that Trump is just fabricating this or trying to get ahead of a story. My sense is that it's unlikely, but to some degree, it's all just speculation right now.
What could the consequences be for Mr. Trump if he is arrested, and how symbolic would that arrest be for the United States?
Well, I think that this does pose a real threat to Donald Trump. If he's correct and an arrest is pending by Tuesday, it strikes me that the odds of an indictment following are high. All of this would happen in a jurisdiction, New York City, that is predominantly liberal, so partiality in a grand jury would be hard to come by, even in the best of circumstances. If that does unfold, it has the potential to be a major disturbance for the campaign and something that could really loom over Trump as he's trying to kickstart his 2024 bid. Again, it's not clear where the case would go from here, whether this would be a misdemeanor charge, for example, or whether it could potentially be something more serious, a felony prosecution if it's tied to a larger crime like a violation of campaign finance. That could actually entail jail time. But again, we just really don't have information at this point. But it's certainly significant. I mean, an indictment of not just a former president, but someone who is probably the most likely candidate to go up against Joe Biden. It is a big, big story.
We should just perhaps remind our viewers that this isn't the only investigation that Mr. Trump is the target of.
That's true. I mean, there's certainly a number of different investigations ongoing. This has been one that has kind of been in the news of late, but there's also some federal investigations. There's also another state investigation in Georgia that he's subject to. So I think to some extent the legal walls are coming in on Donald Trump at this point.
Now, Mr. Trump has also written very clearly and in capital letters that his followers must save America and, quote, protest, protest, protest. Authorities must surely be concerned about the prospect of fresh civil unrest, given what happened when Trump last urged his supporters to come out in protest.
Well, of course, Trump is clearly going to use the situation to rev up his base. We can expect the usual litany of catchphrases, witch hunt, character assassination, political vendetta, etc. We're already seeing that, as you suggest, with his post on Truth Social, calling on his supporters to protest and to take the country back. It's clearly provocative, and there's a little, more than a little reminiscence to the kind of words we heard him use in the lead up to January 6th. So it's certainly no surprise that certain elements of Trump's base, the really hardliners, the true believers, they don't need much coaxing to kind of get into a defensive position. So I think that there is a security concern there, certainly, absolutely.
Just finally, how worried should the Democrats be by Mr. Trump's view there to want protesters to come out in his defense?
Well, I think that this can have a political upside for Donald Trump because it's not only the far right that's going to get activated by this. We're already seeing other Republicans, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, lash out at the prosecution, suggesting that this is a political hit job, an overzealous district attorney who's violating norms. He's calling it radical and outrageous. I think we're going to hear more language like that from Republicans. So I think we can expect many in the GOP to rush to Trump's defense. Not just this ultra MAGA wing of the party, especially if this arrest does happen, like he says. It's very reminiscent, I think, also of what we saw in Mar-a-Lago with the search over the classified documents. Trump really used that to his political advantage. So I think he's going to try to do the same. And I think Democrats need to be concerned about that.
Okay, Thomas Gift, thank you very much for joining us here on France 24. Thank you.
Thank you.